Okay, so the show in Sturgis, not a good experience?
Not a good experience, and I've never been back since. It's just one of those things that it left maybe a bad taste in my mouth, because there's another promotion there that was called Kickdown Productions, and it got canceled for the Saturday show. It was supposed to air on Tuesday, and a lot of people thought that was our event, and it affected us. But since that time, everything's been wonderful. Met a lot of great people in the industry, media people, fighters, fans, and I'm grateful to be in a sport that has at least been decent in that regard, and hope to continue and see where things go.
Yeah, you've mentioned all the great fighters, nationally known fighters that have fought in Kickdown. What's the relationship, right, the symbiotic relationship between promotions like the UFC and then the local shows like Kickdown?
Well, you know, we've stayed so low-key, and probably a fault of mine, that I've tried to just develop what I had here, and I haven't stayed in touch with the UFC per se, even though I covered some 35 UFCs as a media person. I just haven't had that relationship. The fighters that have fought here have gone on as a result maybe of other promotions, and we are famous for getting people their start, and we've done a lot of that within this promotion, and we're going to continue to do that. But yeah, we would like to get fighters elevated to that stature, like Chris Camozzi, like a Donald Cerrone, and Noah Thomas, and some others.
And do you think the success that those big shows are having, those increased successes, encouraging fighters to start fighting at the local level now?
Yes, I do. And you've seen that. With the talent pool that we've seen in the last 6 months to a year, it has been incredible.
And you also promote the Universal Fight Alliance as well, like we saw tonight. Why the difference in the two different promotions?
It's just a sister promotion that started out in Montana. We've been in Montana, Wyoming, in northern Colorado. We only did this event to put the brakes on Kickdown 100 so we could do that in 3 weeks, but we plan on developing that, and we have some things in the works right now for that promotion as well.
Now, you mentioned some of the other states that you've worked with. Wyoming just had MMA become sanctioned. How do you feel about that?
I've never agreed with the sanctioning, because we've always held our own without sanctioning. We operated 5 years without Colorado before they enacted laws. We've operated 7 years in Wyoming, but we will continue. You can't operate unless you comply with laws, and we will do that, and we'll be glad to be there.
And maybe you can elaborate on that. Some people might hear that you didn't agree with the sanction and think that you might want to run things in a shady way, when really it seems to be the opposite. You've always done things by the books in the proper way.
It's exactly the opposite. We would have a record that will never be broken. I'm not saying that fighters didn't get injured, but we did 89 mixed martial arts events before our first fighter insurance claim, a record that will never be broken. So we've done things the way we should. In Wyoming, we followed Colorado law, but now they're bringing in sanctioning, not because of us, because of others that operated not so well. So I think it'll do good for the sport, but we'll have to see what it does financially.
But as far as your shows go, since they've always been clean, as far as what the fans see as a product, will there be much change?
No change. The only thing it will do, it'll probably increase some prices. It'll get more fighters up there, because now it will be under sanctioned law, but it'll probably in the long run be better, because it will weed out those that haven't complied.
And you mentioned working a lot with the commission here in Colorado the last few years. How's that experience been?
Fantastic. Even though I say that I don't need certain things, Joseph Mason and the state of Colorado have been great advocates of MMA, and I consider Colorado to have the best commission in the world, not in the United States, in the world, because they find ways to make things work, and they'll continue, and it all started here anyway, so I'm glad to be part of it, and I'm proud of Colorado.
Do you think you could have done 100 successful Kickdown shows in any other state?
Yes, I do, because half of those, or 40 of those anyway, were done in the state of Wyoming, so of course I do.
And In Wyoming, you'll also be starting an all-female MMA league. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, the Women's Fighting Championship, all women, all the time, an all-women's show, which is a result of an all-women's show we did at Universal Fight Alliance number 8, February 18th, and that is what created that, and it will be successful, and it'll debut May 12th, 2012.
Looking forward to that. We're also looking forward to April 6th. Kickdown 100 will start. A two-part event. Tell us about that.
That will feature 24 bouts in 2 nights. Jason Clayton, the current middleweight champion, will take on IFL and former Kickdown champion Donnie Lyles, and an undercard of another 11 bouts and a total of probably 16 titles in the 2 nights, and it'll be culminated by the main event, Jack Johnson and Ian Stonehouse.
And what was the process like for selecting a venue for Kickdown 100?
Lack of venues in the Denver metro area. We tried the Budweiser Event Center. Fighters didn't want to go up there, and we tried many, many other places. So to get the show done, we just chose 2 nights, and by process of elimination, the fighters and fans said, hey, why not do it where you started? And that's where we're going to be. So it'll be here, and it'll take 2 nights to fill the fight cards, and it'll be a spectacular weekend.
And that'll be right here at the Red Lion Hotel.
April 6th and April 7th.
In Denver, Colorado, right off of Quebec. And how was that, the fight card, the fighter selection shaping up?
Fantastic. The part number 2 will be one of the best fight cards of the year, and it'll feature titles in nearly every weight class across the board, and a new Hall of Fame inductee that I won't mention now, but we'll see that happen on Friday evening.
Okay. Tough question to leave you with, Steve. If you can only watch one fight from Kickdown 100, what's it going to be?
And that is a very, very difficult question. I'd have to say that Colby Snyder would rank in there, and Jack Johnson, but because of my personal association with them, and then of course the Louise Johnson, boy, there's just so many. It's hard to put that one into over 1,000 bouts, but I would say then that maybe one fighter might stick out, a Colby Snyder, Jack Johnson, Louise Johnson.
I'm sure all the fights are going to be exciting at Kickdown 100. Is there anyone you want to thank for making this all possible?
I want to thank everybody. J.R. Gordon for always being supportive, the media, all the fighters, all the fans. Many thanks to everyone I've met along the way, and I look forward to another 10 years.
I can't wait to see it. Best of luck in the future. Kickdown 100 is coming your way starting April 6th at the Red Lion in Denver. Steve, thank you very much for meeting with us.
Can't
wait to see this show.
Thank you to MMA Buzz and for all your continued support.